welcome to the penultimate game of round 9 of the Isuzu UTE League. The Knicks back at home for the second straight week after going down 3-1 to the Jets last Sunday up against a visiting Mariners side who haven't won since early November. I'm Jeff McTaich, joining me in commentary once again this afternoon. Paul Eiffel pitch side, and alongside me, former All Whites at Phoenix keeper Jacob Spoonley. Kia ora, Jacob.
Kia ora, Jeff. Well, what a 90 minutes we have before us. Both of these sides down the bottom of the table, but not out of touch with the top six, and looking to end 2025 with some fireworks. A quiet resilience defines both of these sets of players. The promise of more to come for the Mariners, and Nick's clarity on what their role is to finish out 2025.
And you can see those little buzzy bees there in the hand of Phoenix captain Alex Rufer. Those in memory of the youngest victim of the Bondi Beach terror attack. What a week it has been across the Tasman. Our thoughts and prayers with all of those affected, and those little bees in memory of the youngest victim, 10-year-old Matilda. And we'll have a moment's silence too before this game, which carries so much importance, as Jacob said, for both of these teams. 11 v 12 on the table. Well, for 45 minutes, the Phoenix were right in last week's game against the Jets before leaking 3 goals early in the second half. The return of Mandrake James from suspension will help defensively. So too the return of Isaac Hughes from injury. Alex Rufer once again leads in midfield, looking to create more. Corbin Piper busy last week. He'll look to impose himself again. Armiento was a key man roaming down the edge. So too Ifeanyi Eze up front.
And looking at the Mariners, it's an impressive defensive unit anchored by Redmayne with Paul and Donaghy in front of him. All white Storm Roux returns to New Zealand in yellow. Tap anchors the midfield with the armband, and then Lucas Moragas has been promoted further forward into a left wing as he looks to be the supply line for Sabat Noor.
And as we take a look at the bench for both teams, and the welcome return for Paulo Retra's first game of the season in the number 8 jersey. A man with so much experience in the A-League, and on the other side of it, man at 10 for Central Coast, Miguel De Pizio. We know how dangerous he is in front of post.
Well, it has been a huge week for the Wellington Phoenix, but an even bigger week outside of football. But a reminder constantly of how football is intertwined with everything that happens in the community, and how football is a representation of the community. Absolute sadness and devastation experienced last week at Bondi, but on both sides of the Tasman, stand in solidarity with the victims and want to ensure that those that have perpetrated the attacks against us do not define us. Jeff.
Well said, Jacob. As we say, we will have that moment's silence shortly. Well, for Phoenix coach Giancarlo Italiano, plenty of talk of belief. His team this week, no doubt some soul searching. Can they get momentum though? That is the key. Favourites today, but you get the feeling it has to start now. A tough run across the Tasman for Chiefy and the side coming up. 3 points today, vital. And they can climb just outside of the top 6. Well, a lot of speculation around the future of Central Coast. Warren Moon confident the team isn't far away from clicking. Auckland lost last week in that match for large parts. He did talk about, though, not getting the rub of the green. If they can get that today, they could take some points back to Gosford. Well, as Jacob said, terrible scenes across the Tasman this week. The Bondi terror attacks. Time now to pay our respects to all of those affected in Australia.
We all mourn the devastating attack and the resulting loss of innocent lives at Bondi Beach last Sunday. As a mark of respect, we now ask if you're able to please rise for a moment's silence as we offer our heartfelt sympathies to the victims, their loved ones, and the communities impacted. Thank you.
It is a game that unites football, the beautiful game, and today we stand to remember those affected by the terrible events across the Tasman. Tim Daniscos is our referee this afternoon, Joey Lee and Alessandro Lano, his first A-League game, will be the assistants today. Kenny Robertson, Ben Abram in the VAR box. Sabat Newar, well, we talk about Ufanya Eze up front for Wellington. This man certainly has a nose for goal, knows how to find himself in the right part of the field too, Sabat Newar. Well, if he is to score here today, he'll go ahead in the Golden Boot race in the opening third of the season. Ufanya Eze, as Jacob said, scored a cracking header last week, the lone goal for Wellington against Newcastle. They'll need him at his best today, Alex Rufer and the Phoenix. Central Coast Mariners in the blue strip, playing left to right against the Wellington Phoenix in black and yellow. Beautiful afternoon for football here in the nation's capital. Vitally important game for both of these teams. Who will climb the table just outside of the top six? Really possession for the Mariners. And James Donachie at the back. As Jacob, you said, such an experienced backline for Central Coast as they look to get on the front foot early. Opportunity here to ask some questions through Sabat Newar.
It's a messy start for the Wellington Phoenix, but it's good. Recovered defending. Josh Oloimi initially steps on, but then backs off, and it's James that needs to intervene. His pace and decisiveness perhaps missed last week for the 10-minute period after half-time, but he started well for the Wellington Phoenix here.
Opening corner for Central Coast. Opportunity in the opening minute to strike here.
Away!
And it comes cleared away. The Phoenix playing it just outside of the area here through Moragas, Central Coast. Wellington trying to get forward. Press defensively into the area. It comes, work to do here. Sabat Newar looks to turn it, and it is! Referee's whistle goes.
And Tim Daniscos has signalled a handball. It's James Donachie that's in the box. Creates a mess again. Sabat Newar at the back post. He gets the initial contact. Suspect it might be his left arm that makes contact with the ball. We'll have a look now. It drifts past James Donachie at that near post, and there you see the left arm extended from the body. Tim Daniscos had a great view of things. We're just going to wait for VAR to confirm.
Well, two opportunities early. Sabat Newar with a really good look in that opening minute. Then the cross in. He has just made contact with the Mariners striker. VAR taking a look. Phoenix fans, the yellow fever, are pretty sure about what's happened.
We'll just receive the thumbs up as we have another look. Sabat Newar all by himself at that back post.
Wellington now a chance to get forward themselves. Here he is, Amiento, so dangerous, roaming down the flank last week against Newcastle. And Draker James, great to have him back defensively. So too Hughes for Giancarlo Italiano this week. A young backline for Wellington last week. And already, though, Central Coast asking plenty of questions defensively of the Phoenix.
Only a few moments in, but you can see the tactic from Central Coast. Set the ball back, knock it in behind for runners from deep.
Donachie playing into midfield here. Opportunity, though, for the Phoenix to come away with it.
Drop.
In the heat goes Kazuki Nagasawa. And they will have the indirect free kick, Wellington, just inside of their own half for James. Players forward for Wellington on the edge of the area. Central Coast having to come back through Brad Tapp, wearing the captain's armband this afternoon.
Already a battle between Tap and Nazarene. Nazarene's gone about building a quiet but confident season. He's a good operator. Oh, he's starting to see a bit of fight in him as well, as he realises that this Wellington Phoenix side need to get a response, and it's as much about attitude as it is anything else.
Well, it only takes a couple of weeks, doesn't it? Newcastle Jets, a perfect example of a team that has made some moves. Went over Sydney this round to move up into the top 6. So for Wellington, all Central Coast 3 points today could very much change the complexity or complexion of their season. Wellington now looking to try and get forward. Piper there, he was busy last week. Corbin Piper. Ball forward, Storm Rowe in the 15 shirt, and familiar to New Zealand fans. Number of caps for the All Whites.
With Tim Payne on the bench, oh sorry, not on the bench, not on the field today, not in the squad, still rehabilitating that shoulder injury that he sustained. Storm Rowe realises that he's got a chance to build a case for involvement in the March windows, which will be in New Zealand for the All Whites.
278th game in the A-League for Storm Rowe. Paul Eiffel, quick start for Central Coast, threatening on goal. What have you made of the opening 5 minutes?
Yeah, certainly. I think it's been very smart from Warren Moon. He's made no plans about it. They're just going to go in behind every chance they get an opportunity. So there's no up, back and through. It's get it out your feet, get it in behind, get runners from deep if possible. I think it's going to cause the Phoenix problems if they continue with the high line, which we expect to see.
Oh, Eze was so close there to gaining possession. Paul comes away down the edge for the Mariners now. There he is again. He's looking to get involved. You find your Eze. Going to play it back here. Wellington pushing forward, looking to try and cut off the space. Just threaded through. Piper was there though for Wellington, and they have possession as well. As Rufer hoops it inside of Central Coast half. Now you find your Eze roaming down the right. Running Nazarene, and Wellington looking for a way inside the 18-yard area. Back it comes for Kelly Heald. Tucker James, of course, back from suspension. The straight really was shown against Auckland in the Classic. Bounces awkward. Ifeanyi Eze is onto it though for Wellington. So dangerous, so difficult to shut down. Puts a ball inside the area too. Ifeanyi Eze. And the shot as well from Sheridan. Wellington pulled the trigger.
Unorthodox at times, but smart play from the Wellington Phoenix down the left. First Piper, and then Eze pulled Donaghy and Paul out, and that created space down the right. Matt Sheridan finally getting a shot off on his weaker foot. First time Redmayne's gloves have been tested.
Here they come, still on the ball. Theo Harris. Lovely little pass to Moragas. Testing the reactions of Josh Oluwaemi, who's not happy down inside the 6-yard box.
It was an awkward save. Moragas, good contact on the ball. Made its way towards Eze with pace, and I suspect this is either a knee or ribs, as Josh Oluwaemi had to get down quickly. You just see there the right knee bends underneath him. It's awkward, and it looks to be painful from Eze's perspective. The ankle just anchors there in the grass underneath Oluwaemi. Not good for the custodian.
He's been such a key part of the Phoenix defensive end, their goalkeeper Josh Oluwaemi, in the early part of this season.
It's worked well. Piper initially fights for the ball, wins it off Donaghy, and then Eze wriggles his way across the goal. Matt Sheridan perhaps could have played in Nazarene. You can see a run there from the number 20 in to out. It's well marshalled, in fact. That was the right decision, just not enough to beat Andrew Redmayne.
Still getting him time to try and walk on off. It does not look happy, Josh Oluwaemi.
Well, this is far from ideal for a coach that was welcoming in the cavalry. Hughes James back and introduced into the starting 11. Hughes after injury, James after suspension. Paolo Retre, first sighting of him for the Wellington Phoenix as he's on the bench this afternoon, but it looks like Josh Oloamy is heading to the bench, very stiff, and it's going to be an A-League debut for young McCarron.
Disappointment for Josh Oloamy. And an opportunity now in the A-League for Eamon McCarron. I beg your pardon. So coming up to 10 gone, Central Coast, the early chances. One opportunity really for the Phoenix and Sheridan.
And you might be asking where Albie Kelly-Heald is. Well, the decision's been made for the age group international to be part of the matchday squad, but only as part of the wider goalkeeping unit, which means that Eamon McCarron is primed to enter the fray as he receives his final instructions from Giancarlo Italiano. Onto the field, Eamon McCarron to the embrace of yellow fever. They'll need to be at the back of this youngster. Sun shining down on him today. He'll need the support of yellow fever as well.
Armiento plays it back. Phoenix looking to get forward, real tangle on the halfway line with Piper and Donaghy. The disappointment evident under the shirt of Josh Oloamy. Coming forward, Nazarene just tangling over on the far side with Moragas. As Central Coast fire the long ball downfield. Nagasawa back for Mandrake James. Enzo again looking to get past his man. Puts the ball along the ground. Lovely one too. Over to that left-hand corner for Piper. There's Nagasawa. Just a little bit of time on the ball, a little bit of space. And the Phoenix will look to try and set up camp. Kelly-Heald. Again, ball through Armiento. Room to move. Carlo Armiento on the edge of the box. He's got Nagasawa wrapping around to the left. He puts the ball in. It's a high one too. Off of the chest of Piper. And some work to do in the back line of Central Coast. Almost falls for Nagasawa. As Alex Rufer tries to get on it for Wellington. He's done a great job too, the captain. Alex Rufer turning over the ball for the Phoenix. James in the centre of defence. Just a little heavy on the touch. A workout for Wellington though. They come away with it. Nazarene, Rami Nazarene down the right again. Ball turned back in. And they managed to scramble again defensively. Down goes Moragas. Nothing doing, says the referee. And there will be a corner for Wellington. So after absorbing some early pressure from the Mariners in the opening couple of minutes, Wellington have a set piece.
There's a real tension in midfield at the moment. A lot of work being done by the likes of Tapp and McCalmont, Rufer and Nagasawa in particular. We saw there just a half yard, a suggestion of an opportunity. And the Wellington Phoenix pounced onto it. Matt Sheridan looking for Piper at that near post.
Armiento with a bit of space and Rufer with him. Rufer tries to put a ball over the top inside of the area. As they look to try and catch them on the break and the turn.
McCalmont needed to get his head up there. There were 3 willing runners up against 1 defender for the Wellington Phoenix after Alex Rufer's pass forward was blocked.
Sheridan having to get over and shepherd Moragas. Dangerous times inside of the 18-yard box for Wellington. Still there, ball back in. Sabat Muir looks interested. And just headed clear by Hughes for Wellington.
Isaac Hughes shepherds that one over the Wellington Phoenix goal line, and here's a big moment. Theo Harris has a dangerous left foot. What does he do? Will the Mariners target the youngster in the goal?
Too early, Carlo!
Theo Harris, second corner for the Mariners. Plenty of activity in the box. Ball in. It's the right line for Central Coast, but Wellington will come away. They'll get a chance to advance too. Referee's whistle goes. Down in a heap is Lucas Kelly-Heald.
The question, the conversation here is why advantage wasn't played, and that there must be a yellow card incoming, as Ifeanyi Eze was in behind the Mariners' back line. Here we see the foul that was given. Donaghy through the swing of Kelly-Heald, studs down, but look at that. As the play develops, Eze and Piper, man on man at the back, with Eze in behind his defender. Lucas Kelly-Heald still down on the turf. Not a pleasant sight for Italiano. Already lost his goalkeeper to injury this afternoon. Just off screen there, Italiano talking to the fourth official, trying to figure out what was going on.
James, long ball down, just outside of the area, almost falling for Ifeanyi Eze. Now this man who's had 15 years in the Pro League, James Donaghy, started back in 2010, 197th game this afternoon for the Mariners. 32-year-olds won 3 A-League championships, vastly experienced in defence for Central Coast. Storm Road, long throw, going to find his man Sabat Muir. A bit of a debate over who has possession here. It'll be Wellington. He's playing it forward for Piper, off of his head. Redmayne will clear downfield for Sabat Muir. Wellington content just to try and play it around here at the back. Muir looks interested again on the feet of Mandrake James. This is better from Wellington, trying to come through. Nazarene again. And shepherding it to that corner is Nathan Paul for Central Coast.
It's just fascinating watching the responsibility in midfield, almost man on man. Nazarene and Nagasawa being marshalled by McCalmon and Steele. Both sides just trying to circulate, manipulate to open a chance.
Here's the chance, is it for Wellington? Eze just loaded up on the left, the wry smile, Ifeanyi Eze.
Nathan Paul with the all-important intervention. The Wellington Phoenix pressed. Nazarene got on the ball. Just look at the recovering tackle from the number 23. The danger man in Eze, nullified on that occasion by Paul.
Kelly-Heald and James. Amiento lurking down this left-hand side for Wellington. James plays it forward. Cries of a foul there. Ifeanyi Eze goes down in a heap. He can't believe it. He was held to. And you can just hear perhaps some of those frustrations coming off of Sky Stadium. ball, cut back in, Piper! Again tries to pull the trigger, not for the first time today.
Movement's good in the box. Piper and Eze both targeting that near post. If another's drawn a defender away, but Italiano ropeable sideline.
What did you make of that contest, Paul Eiffel? So Central Coast. Down the left they come again. It's McCalmont in the area. The Mariners looking for the opening goal. Defending is Hughes, back on the edge, all alone now here. The Mariners looking for the opener again. Brilliant defence from Wellington. Storm Rue had plenty of time on it.
Well, Theo Harris has only just got back to his feet. He was on the wrong end of some very heavy contact. But yet again, the back post is where the Mariners look to exploit. That time, Storm Rue needed the intervention of Carlo Armiento to stop his ball, testing McCarron.
So Rue, the Mariners 20 gone. The long throw from the all-white, opportunity inside the 6-yard area. Back for Rue. Cleared away momentarily by Hughes. Still on for Central Coast.
There is a fragility inside that 6-yard box at the moment. The Wellington Phoenix not decisive at all, but the Mariners failing to take advantage. It's a long throw into the 6-yard. Perhaps McCarron can come for that. It's Hughes that gets it half away. Storm Rue back in. And then Carlo Armiento, awkwardly on his right foot, only guides it into Nathan Paul at the near post. Sabat Noor with his second chance. Perhaps even takes it off the feet of Lucas Moragas.
Well, Paul Eiffel, the opening 20 minutes, plenty of frustration for Wellington. You just sense a bit more calm in their play, and they could have this opening goal.
Yeah, look, for sure. I think Chiefy is feeling a little hard done by at the moment. I think a lot of things are going against the Phoenix. I think if you look at the Kelly Hild one, I think he believes that should have been a yellow card. If it wasn't a yellow card, why didn't they get the opportunity to take the advantage? And then the second one there, Eze was clearly held back in a really good position on the edge of the box. They'd have loved a free kick, to be able to take a free kick from that position in a game that is looking like it's going to be a stalemate up to half-time.
Seen some heavy challenges from the Phoenix as well. Carlo Armiento and Nagasawa lunging in on Mariners players, so a lot of license being given by the officiating team in the first 20 minutes.
James heads forward, and therefore Theo Harris to create. Christian Theo Harris. Vanya Eze trying to get through on it. Just really threatening down that end. Forcing the clearance for Central Coast. Wellington now starting to pressure. And possession again, they'll have to throw. Of course, Josh Aloiemi heading to the sideline with injury. What a sight Phoenix fans want to see. He's been brilliant in front of goal this season for Wellington at times. And Eamon McCarron in his place, young man on A-League debut. He's played a bit for Lower Hutt City AFC, Western Suburbs, North Wellington, alongside Karori. And here in the A-League now in a black and yellow shirt for Wellington. Plenty of work to do this afternoon against the Mariners side. Jacob have certainly had chances, have had opportunities, some set piece down in the goal third, but Warren Moon has talked about it. They've just had to be a bit more organised, a bit more patient this year. And the goals will come.
They certainly arrive in the capital with intent, with purpose. It's a simple game plan in a lot of respects, but it's one that's exploited a weakness in the Wellington Phoenix. The Mariners have always been defined by industriousness, big engines, willing runners, And today they're being deployed to exploit the space in behind the Wellington Phoenix backline. But you're right, Jeff. Just lacking that bit of quality at the moment to open the scoring, to give what is a pretty respectable defensive unit something to defend.
And of course, the backline strengthened this week. Draker James back, Isaac Hughes. Still without a number of frontline players, though, Wellington. They're looking to clear again here. Get out of trouble. Rami Najarang does his best to hook it over. Falls, though, for the Mariners. Played into the area. Sabat Nyor coming forward, just shy of the 6-yard box. And away it comes to the far side of the field.
Well defended by James. Made sure that no one was going to get in front of him at that near post.
Well, Kennedy in the 20 shirt. First start of the season. Man signed from Sydney FC. Debuted AFC Champions League 2 last year for Central Coast. And there's the take. That'll be one way to get into the action for McCarron. Do his confidence some good.
Good piece of goalkeeping for the youngster.
Vanya Eze plays it forward. Redmayne coming out of the 6-yard box. Down goes Rue. Just colliding with his goalkeeper, and who's made most saves in the league this season, the veteran Andrew Redmayne, but he's just collected Storm Rue.
Eze with their head up. He sees Nagasara at the back post. He's got Corbin Piper through the middle as well. A lot for Storm Rue to have on his radar. And it's a blow to the head, unfortunately. Friendly fire from Andrew Redmayne. But Storm Rue looks to continue.
Andrew Redmayne made his debut back in 2009 for Central Coast, since won 5 A-League championships. 26 gone, still a pair of specs here at Sky Stadium as Sabat Nyor, a man who could change that very quickly for Central Coast. Drew back up and running. Back it comes for Kennedy. James Donaghy playing along this right-hand side where he finds that man, Phil Harris. Lovely boot on him, just delicately guides that one to the left. Yes, well defended in the end by Matt Sheridan. Just denying an opportunity for Moragas to get a run on. Donaghy for Rowe. Now he turns and fires for Sabat Nyor. Vanya Eze, beg your pardon, Mandrake James back there defending. And Wellington will come away. Rowe gets it back. Lovely pass for Storm Rue. And equally well defended by Lucas Kelly-Hill.
We saw that plenty of times last week, recovering defence from Kelly-Hill. I think attackers just aren't expecting the length of leg to come out and make a challenge in a lot of respects. Well timed though from the youngster.
A couple of big plays defensively. Kelly-Hill, and it comes Rue. Theo Harris trying to get his feet to it. There though for Piper off of his head. Work to do for McCarron. Tidies it up for Wellington.
Settled well after coming in for Josh Oluwaemi. A good take off a long throw and then a nice early call there. Important moments as McCarron adjusts to life in the A-League.
Well, Paul Eiffel, you were here pitch side last week. What adjustments, if any, have you seen the Phoenix make in the opening 28 minutes?
I don't think there's been too many adjustments. I think there's a slightly deeper line potentially than last week. I know Chiefy spoke about that little change that he made at half-time last week, which didn't quite work out, but I think it is a little bit of a point of difference today. He's expecting a lot of work from Piper and Eze to to halve the pitch when the ball goes into the wide areas. So just keep an eye on those two, whether they're going to be able to get through a power of work, which they're going to need to keep the Mariners from trying to play those balls down the side of the Phoenix's high-ish back line today.
There's an interesting point that Paul Eiffel made in the build-up, that if you've got your front two getting through a lot of work without the ball, which is expected of strikers in the modern game, what kind of reserves do they have? What freshness, potentially even what kind of frustration are they subject to when they do get themselves on the ball? If you look at the bench as well, only really young Luke Brooks-Smith to provide a like-for-like substitution. Anaru Cassidy, they're joining him, and Dan Edwards alongside. And Finn Roakonchi makes up a quartet of young Kiwis.
Piper coming forward, ball falls for Amiento. Carlo Amiento again from Piper, forcing the save from Redmayne. First Amiento, then Piper, looking to net for Wellington, also close.
Ball at the feet of Carlo Amiento. There really is only one result when he's that close to goal. It's a good hit across Redmayne. It falls to Piper. But as the number 3 adjusts to life up front, perhaps just came onto him a little bit too quickly.
Moragas playing it down the edge. Wellington, Najareen in there trying to shut the play down. Storm Root calling for it over on this near side of the pitch. He gets the ball now. Does Storm Root. Plays it through Thea Harris. Thea Harris and Kelly Heald. He's defended well, hasn't he, Lucas? Kelly Heald getting the high five too. Low five.
He's got a lot to deal with in terms of Theo Harris and Storm Root, an adventurous right back, and then a naturally left-sided player down the right-hand side. A very cool, calm individual, though, Lucas Kelly Heald. Got big shoes to fill.
Rami Najareen called for it, sorry, Jacob. Wellington looking to play smartly on the far side of the field. He's got 3 Mariners players on him. They do well, though, through Nagasawa, who spies a bit of space. A chance to play the ball forward for Amiento, just a bit heavy. And Redmayne will watch it trickle over the goal line.
Just going back to Lucas Kelly Heald for a moment. Player that a lot of people expected to be the natural successor to Finn Sermon. Was deployed in midfield, out wide for a period. Now getting a decent run at centre-back, which is where I think he's going to spend a lot of time in his career.
Big defender, 6'8", Lucas Kelly Heald, or 6'5", I should say, 198. So he's a tall man.
Could have spared me a few of those, Jeff. I would have loved to
have
had the reach of Lucas Kelly Heald. Combine that with a composure.
Thea Harris, McCarron does well to get it away. He was bearing down on him. Christian Thea Harris for Central Coast. Now Rupert just chips a little ball over the top. Nagasawa, it's got Amiento. Now they're flowing, Wellington. What can they make of this press forward? Ball over for Rami Najareen, and it's going to go too far in the end.
Well, as we tick past the half-hour mark, the attitude's been on display. The energy's there from both sides. It's a fair old tussle, perhaps just lacking quality in the final third. Suspect this last 10 minutes before half-time. Both sides are going to have to guard against fatigue, show mental resolve here. Get the feeling that whichever side gets the ascendancy will go a long way to picking up all 3 points here today. And this next 10-minute period, I think, is crucial.
Amiento comes through to Harris. He'll have to throw. Oh, there he is back again. Vastly experienced Canadian centre-back. He's been a professional for 13 years, number of title-winning sides, Europe, North America, Central America. Spent 6 years with Danish club FC Midtjylland, of course, where Winston Reid, the All Whites captain, started out. So vastly experienced. At the moment, though, looking to get forward on attack, although Mariners will come away in centre field. Now the referee's whistle goes, disagrees. Nagasawa pleading his case.
That's really smart play from Kennedy. Deployed as a left back in this system, but realised the danger, stepped into the midfield, denied at the first opportunity, and then won his side a free kick.
10 to play, plus stoppage until the break here in Wellington. There's Storm Root. There's 3 players coming in on him. Through it comes, though, Lucas Kelly-Heald's back.
Another one for McCarron to deal with. Stormaroo this time looking to load up for a long throw.
Last time Central Coast won here in Wellington, 2022. Long ball in to the 18-yard box, back for Roo. Theoharis right on the edge here. Inside he goes. The left foot Theoharis as McCarron watches it drift past the near post. Passionate player, Christian Theoharis, 26 years of age. Part of that 2022-23 championship winning team for Central Coast in his first season at the club. He's grown into a real hometown favourite in Gosford.
A-League moves so quickly, though. These two sides locked in a battle for the Premier's Plate 2 seasons ago, now fighting to get off the foot of the table.
Falls for Rufer, tries to pop one over the top for Shireen. Just pointing it into the space. Brad tap, though. Nagasawa and Wellington come away. Nagasawa plays through for Piper! There's the opening goal for Wellington! And the fans are on their feet!
Kazuki Nagasawa is the architect here in Wellington. Realised the moment, stepped on the ball, turned defence into attack, lightning quick for Giancarlo Italiano. And smart play, he was patient, drove towards goal, pulled a defender out, and Corbin Piper. Composure in front of Redmayne. Right foot with the touch, left foot with the contact to get it over Redmayne. And the Wellington Phoenix, before half-time, now have a lead to defend.
The work of Kazuki Nagasawa turning James Donaghy inside out. Corbin Piper threatened last week, big time against Newcastle. And he steps up and delivers here. First goal of the season, third of the 23-year-old's career. And how big could that be just out from the new year?
It's an important period of the game. Both sides started with intent. Wanted to ensure they went into Christmas with 3 points. And Corbin Piper, centre-back, centre midfielder, now centre forward.
And now the centre of attention. Opening goal for Wellington. And perhaps for all the injustice the Phoenix players think they have been subject to in the opening 37 minutes. There's some reward. We've seen Central Coast come back from the early goal to fashion leads this season, but defensively, James on this occasion.
Here's the goal. Kazuki Nagasawa, perhaps overshadowed by the performances of Alex Rufer so far this season, but quietly gone about his business. And business it was there. Assured, decisive football. Corbin Piper with the finish.
Work to do, though, to try and clear away here. Sheridan will gladly watch that one roll away, though. Corner for Central Coast.
think that's McCalmont making a sign towards the bench for a substitution.
Well, here is the live ladder, and this is just how quickly things can change. If this result was to stay this way at the end of the game, Wellington would move up to 8th place on MacArthur on the table, cleared away. The 6-yard box, Eze coming forward. Down in a heap goes Moragas. Trying foul again. Wellington will look to try and get on with it quickly.
Well, Tim Danaskis, at least there's consistency in the calls. I think for mine, 5 or 6 calls I would have given, but we've heard the mandate from the referees. They want to allow an open game, and sometimes that comes with collateral damage. But you see there, McCalmont over the other side. He's gone down, he can't continue. Looks like we're going to have another substitution before half-time. And look at that strapping there from McCalmont. Clearly has started the game with some tightness or some soreness. And for a footballer in that lower abdominal area, that is not a good sign. So hard to continue, so hard to play when you're having to manage an injury like that.
Well, the Phoenix lost Josh Aloiemi early. And the Mariners about to lose Alfie McCalmont. Heading to the side here. Such a talent, such a big part of the creativity in the Mariners. The Leeds United Academy product, represented Northern Ireland, various youth levels. Senior debut in 2019, and there's a change to the man we talked about in the 10 shirt for Central Coast. We know all too well what he possesses as well, DiPizio.
So many of the Mariners' highlights pre-game revolved around Miguel DiPizio. A confident youngster, a versatile game as well. Not necessarily like for like with McCalmont, perhaps a bit more attacking intent, but expect him to keep Isaac Hughes on the right-hand side of the back three for the Phoenix now busy.
Miguel DiPizio is 19 years of age, youngest ever goal scorer in an A-League grand final, is on the park. Tap coming forward, so too Rufit's there for Nagasawa and the Phoenix. Eze pushing forward, Ifeanya Eze. And back there is Kennedy for Central Coast.
An astute operator, Kennedy. Defensively so aware. Has a keen sense of danger as it's developing. And that time, not stepping on, but stepping back to ensure that the Wellington Phoenix attack stopped there.
Armiento marches toward the corner. The fever in full voice. Just out from the break. He'll look to send it in. Can they double their lead? A push and shove. He's been itching to get back on the park, Mandrake James.
A chat between Theo Harris, James and Rue. Just a short pause and then back at it.
Not sure they're talking about where to get a drink after this game. As Armiento looks to try and curl one in. Headed away. Moragas there though for Nagasawa and Wellington. All into the area again and just falling at the feet of Kennedy. He's called upon again defensively for Central Coast.
There's certainly been some impressive individual performances so far for the Central Coast Mariners. Kennedy perhaps central among those, but a lot of chat around the reinforcements that the Mariners will get in the January window. Obviously a lot of rumour around new ownership, and hopefully that comes with ambition, because if they can land a 10, perhaps give some direction through a number 9 in combination with that, then there are complementary pieces here for Warren Moon.
Ball kept in just outside the 6-yard for Wellington. And they will have possession again. And last time Central Coast won in Wellington, 2022, April that year. They won 4-0 earlier that same month, 5-0. So, space of a month, they put 9 past the Phoenix, but there's not been happy hunting on the road for this Mariners team of late, as Corbin Piper will ask some questions again.
I just saw the possession stat there for the Wellington Phoenix in the last 5 minutes, 61%. That's the way that Giancarlo Italiano wants to control games, and equally the pressure that they're looking to assert, the press high up the field, that's where the goal came from. A lot to like about this first half performance for Italiano.
There we go. One way to get back onto the field of play.
Tap manoeuvres his way onto the right side of the line from his perspective.
We are in Wellington. Some of the best movies are made. Armiento. Again, just out from the end of regular time in this opening half. Nagasawa, Rufer. Rufer chipping one over the top. Alex Rufer. And again, his players down all over the show.
Well, that's the effort that both sides have been put in, and the Phoenix find themselves a man down as it's Armiento that's down but off field.
5 added in this first half. Armiento, he too tries to flop his way back in the field, tried to run the injury off. Jogging back to position, Armiento. Piper makes a good incision. We'll take another look here what happened. Alex Rufer chips one over the top. Armiento, he just catches that left leg just into the turf here at Sky Stadium. And he's down just on Central Coast side of halfway, Carlo Armiento.
Don't like to see that. Oluwayemi had to leave through very similar circumstances. And Carlo Armiento, can see that he's a crucial piece to how Italiano wants to play, that attacking intent that Italiano wants to play with that season. Armiento, a crucial cog in the machine. Just in back play. 2 All Whites came together, Storm Roux and Alex Rufer. And as soon as Rufer conceded the free kick, Storm Roux quite happy to applaud the Wellington Phoenix captain.
So the Knicks have lost Josh Oluwayemi early doors. The Mariners, they too lost Alfie McCalmont. They could ill afford to lose this man. He's been fantastic so far this season, Carlo Armiento.
Well, it looks like his stay on the sideline will not be as long as Josh Oluwayemi's. Just a temporary pause in Armiento's involvement.
So Storm Roux, Christian Theoharis, due to play in this first half in stoppage. Christian Theoharis plays it in, the high lofted attempt.
Not even the wind to blame here in Wellington for that one.
For once. We had a smooth landing this morning, to be fair.
It is a brilliant summer day here in Wellington. Unfortunately, Theoharis with far from brilliant delivery. And Armiento rejoins play.
'76th A-League appearance, 9th for the Phoenix, Carlo Armiento. Karen, long ball downfield, looking to get on top of it, Wellington. Theoharis tries to play it down for Sabit Nyor. It goes down, this time it's Rami Nasharin. Starting to get a few calls their way. Well, Theoharis can't believe it.
I think Theoharis has a case here. He's arguing they need to go the long way around Rami Nasharin and did so. have a second look at it. Pizio just steps in front of Rufer, and not sure there's much in the way of evidence to justify the free kick there.
Piper lurking again, and will be a goal kick.
It's one of the fascinating subplots this afternoon is Piper up against Donaghy. Both very physical customers. And you won't see one very far from the other.
Theo Harris busy, as always. Kennedy on the ball now. Wellington will come away. Push forward if Ifeanyi Eze. Played through Paul. Wellington again. To turn the Mariners around on the break. It's set defensively now. Is calling some players back towards the back line here for Wellington. James.
It'll just be about now managing the moments before the half-time whistle for the Wellington Phoenix, wanting to sustain possession.
De Pizio, though, dangerous in this area. Miguel De Pizio, the right foot shot. The save initially and then put in Sabat-Nur for Central Coast. We mentioned how dangerous Miguel De Pizio can be for the Mariners, and he sets it up for Sabat-Nur. We're all square in Wellington.
Well, they definitely deserve it, the Central Coast Mariners. Eze heading back towards goal, coughs up possession, and it's De Pizio. Cuts in from his left onto his right and tests the palms of McCarron, who for the Wellington Phoenix was unable to get this one in his grasp around the post, and Sabat-Nur pounces like every good striker, hoping for a chance, and one with a fine margin. An acute angle presents itself, and now the Mariners are level.
Paul Eiffel, that is exactly what Warren Moon would have been after. Sabat-Nur, we mentioned him in the build-up, but how about Miguel De Pizio coming off the pine and providing that energy?
Yeah, look, fantastic. We know he's such a good dribbler. I think Rufer got stood up and he's gone round him, but I think they needed some more help. They needed some more help from Kelly Hill. He's got to follow his runner. He's got to expect McCarron, young boy coming on, that's going to try and make that save. Didn't push it far enough away.
Half-time in Wellington. It's a goal apiece between the Phoenix and Central Coast. 1-1. Back on the other side here at Sky Stadium.
Some Corbin Piper magic to get the Knicks on the board, but it wasn't to be because there was another goal scored to make it one apiece here in the capital as we look to see what is going to happen in the second half. Paul Eiffel, it has been quite an extraordinary game when we see Corbin Piper jumping like that, but they are not going to the changing room very happy. As you can see, Josh Oluwaemi injured, and it's going to be a tough time for them, isn't it?
Tough for Josh, first of all. It's horrible to see any professional have to go off the pitch like that, especially that early in the game, and it looks like a high ankle sprain for Josh. But going back to the game, pretty even. I think Chiefy will be a little frustrated. We'll get into that in a minute, but I think if you look at the amount of passes each team has had, pretty even there. Expected goals, Central Coast just ahead on that, or double on that. So they maybe feel that they've been enough in the game to be going.
Well, they have the possession, don't they? 54% of possession there. 8 shots on goal up against Wellington 6. So there's going to be some work done in that second half. But let's focus on what actually happened there, because, you know, Kazuki Nagasawa had a beautiful assist right there for Corbin Piper, and they were really gunning to try and get on the board at that point, weren't they?
Yeah, look, it was a poor pass into the midfield, and Nagasawa was first to it. He did really well. If you watch it play out here, they're trying to play out. It's a little reverse pass into the midfield, but he was never going to get there. Nagasawa reads it really well. And what he does so well is take a couple of touches to suck somebody out of position, the centre-back out of position, and the reverse pass. The disguise on this is fantastic. Piper has read the script, gets himself into space. And look, it's not a fantastic finish. He doesn't catch it very well, but he just needs to angle it as the keeper's running towards him. It's a good finish.
Winning isn't always pretty, is it? You know, it doesn't matter how you get there. It's the fact that they got there. And, you know, and the reality is that down the other end of the field, just before half-time, the Mariners were able to get on the board, and that was not pretty at all, was it?
Yeah, look, absolutely. This comes off the back of a substitution. DiPizzio's come on and he gives him something a little bit different. He cuts inside here. He's a great dribbler. We know that. It's a decent enough strike. McCarron will have expected to push that wide enough. Doesn't quite get enough on it, and Kelly Hill switches off. Doesn't follow his runner. If you watch here, and Noor is first to it, and it's an easy tap-in for him. So again, 18 years old, the young fellows, just come on. Defenders have got to look after him, got to try and stop the first shot, and they've certainly got to follow in when he's made the save.
Yeah, it's a tricky occasion coming in for that teenager. For him to have seen Josh going off, how much time would have they communicated in that crossover? It didn't look like they had much time at all.
You don't get much time at all. He'll be sitting there thinking that he's going to, you know, watch the game and just going to play well, hopefully 3 points. It's horrible to see. He just gets his toes caught underneath his own body. If you look at it there, whole body weight goes over it, and it will be a high ankle sprain. We've just seen him go off the pitch in the moon boot there. That could be a 4 to 6 week injury, unfortunately.
We saw him sitting on the bench as well. So much emotion. You can just tell how much this man cares about this team and about this game.
Oh, look, you know, tough season last year for him. He's just come into a good bit of form. He's playing really well, high on confidence, and then to get an injury like that when you're doing ever so well, look, it gives an opportunity for the young fella, and you've got young Kelly Hill as well, will be chomping at the bit. So 2 young fellas now will be trying to fight their way in to be the #1 for the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks.
We talk about the emotions in it. We have seen a lot of that on the sideline. There's been a lot of frustration out there on the field as well.
Yeah, look, again, I think Chiefy will be feeling a few things didn't go as well. Here, that's a definite foul, an easy foul. And the Phoenix are away, and they've not had too many chances up to this point. So either take it back, give the yellow card, or let them go. And then this is the next one. This is ridiculous. Eze clearly wrestled to the ground, and obviously I was on sideline watching this one, and Chiefy exploded. And look, within good reason. I think this is definitely a foul. This happened a good few times in the first half, but what I will say is things seem to change as we got closer to half-time, and I think a lot of the 50-50 calls actually went the Phoenix's way.
Right, you think the momentum has shifted. But what about the second half? What do you need to see? Because you were saying quite a few things to me about what you wanted from Eze.
Just got to get him in the game. I think I say it every week, but he puts in a power work. Corbin Piper has got just his reward for what he's done. I think, can they find ways to get him opportunities in and around the box? He is so dangerous in there, but I don't want to see him doing as much work second half. I want to see him reaping the rewards of the work he's done in the first half.
All right, well, we'll find out how he comes out of the blocks in the second half. But before we go there, Charlie Wilson is going to give us some insights from Betcha.
Well, yeah, 1-1 is not a shocking scoreline here at halftime, with the last 2 games at the stadium here resulting in a draw. It's paying $2.45 here. Will we see a repeat of their round 3 matchup this season? Now, However, if you do think there will be more goals in the second half, Eze could be the man for the Knicks, while Theo Harris could be the man to find the back of the net for the Mariners. Follow along live on the Betcher app. You can build your own live in-play same-game multi as it happens in the second half. Bet responsibly, and a Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas to you too, Charlie. Get on that flight home to your mum and dad. But look, do not go anywhere. Stay with us because your summer of sport is live and on fire right here on Sky. We've got you covered for football when it comes to the Premier League and, of course, AFC and the Knicks right here in the A-League. Then the 7th stage continues to light up with the All Blacks and Black Ferns in the HSBC 7 Series. And if you're a darts fan, well, the Paddy Power World's Dart Championships, this is live here on Sky 2, and I cannot wait for this. The New Zealand team gearing up for gold at the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan. Catch all the action live on Sky Sport. But right now, it is business time right here in the capital. The Knicks trying to turn their season around. It is 1-1. Who is going to change the score in the second half? Do not go away. Stay with us on Sky Sport.
Welcome back to Sky Stadium in Wellington, where it is one apiece at half-time here between the Wellington Phoenix and Central Coast. Corbin Piper giving the Knicks the lead, and it's Sabbath Muir responding just before the end of the first half for Central Coast. Let's get the thoughts of the Wellington Phoenix goalkeeping coach now, Dylan Cope. Of course, they lost Josh Oluwayemi early on. Eamon McCarron injected into the action. He's with Ash.
Dylan, never good to see one of your players go down, especially as the goalie coach. Can you give us an update on Josh Oluwayemi?
So Josh has just rolled his ankle. It's swelled up straight away. He's been unable to put weight on it. So right now it's just precaution. We don't really know where it's at.
Disappointing for him, but an opportunity for 18-year-old Eamon McCarron. What did you say to him at halftime?
Yeah, Amon's great. Again, just works incredibly hard. He's a good kid. A bit unfortunate with the goal, but he's prepared for this. He's played pre-season against Central Coast as well, so no doubts, no issues with him in goal.
1-1 at the moment, but how do you turn one goal into three in this next half?
I think the same way we did in the first half with scoring is just endeavour. You saw the hard work from Corbin and Eze, not stopping, full pace at everything. Continue with the same endeavour, the same effort, and that's going to be the best way we can to get the 3 points at this stage.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck for that second half.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Well, Eamon McCarron, the 18-year-old out of the Phoenix reserves, this age group representative for New Zealand. The OFC Championships, as the Phoenix and Central Coast locked at one apiece, chasing the 3 points in this crucial fixture before the end of the 2025 campaign, heading into next season. And an opportunity early in this second half just to set up shop in the Mariners' half. Jacob Spoonley, well, the key word there that we took from that interview, Dylan Cope, with Ash, endeavour for Wellington.
There's a lot to like in that first half for both teams. It's got to be said, the way the Mariners travelled to Wellington, but also the execution from the Wellington Phoenix. If you think about the debut of young Eamon McCarron, though, the mistake before half-time is compounded by the length of time you got to think about it.
Rami Najareen just riding on the edge, tries to pull the trigger, calls for handball. Nothing forthcoming. Nagasawa. Kazuki Nagasawa, the backheel flick. Carlo Amiento, Wellington trying foul of the referee. Tim Danaskis, nothing coming. We'll take a look, Jacob.
Here we see Najareen on the turn. Arm away from the body.
That is clear. And he's blown his whistle too. VAR taking a look at what we have all just seen. The yellow fever chanting VAR.
Confirmation off the back of Tim Danaskis' whistle. Again, notice up here in the commentary box, possible penalty for handball, which will be apparent to all on the ground. And unfortunately, for young Kennedy, such a competent display of defending this afternoon, that time gets caught out. Arm away from the body, ball to hand. The question will be, is there a mitigating factor here in the pace of the ball and the distance from him to Remy Najareen?
Tim Danaskis might need Paul Eiffel's Ray-Ban, struggling to see that footage, but there it is on screen. Straight into the hand. VAR checking. Call about to be made.
After an on-field review, there is a handball inside the penalty area. The final decision is
Penalty Wellington.
A chaos before half-time. And the second half is picked up where the first left off. Ball very squarely in the grasp of Remy Najareen after striking the hand of Kennedy.
Kennedy, his first start of the season, the 20-year-old, the young man, he's still arguing the toss.
And it looks like Mandraker James has claimed the ball. Najareen converted a couple of weeks ago, but it is the returning centre-back that confidently is strolling up to the penalty spot.
He's tasted success, this man. the world over, Mandrake James. What a tale this would be. Red carded in the Classic, returns for Wellington at a pivotal moment in their season.
James slots it! 2-0 Wellington, 2-1, and the fans love it in the capital.
More reason for festive cheer for these Wellington Phoenix fans. Yellow fever. The 12 pubs of Lockheed, they come in well lubricated and now loud off the back of the boot of Mandrake James. Confident, nonchalant, strides up, sends Andrew Redmayne the wrong way, and then he's off. The Wellington Phoenix, for the second time this afternoon, gain the ascendancy.
What a time to score that for Mandrake James, and perhaps affording this man a little bit of a smile. 5 into the second half. Beautifully taken, Mandrake James. Man who the Phoenix have missed defensively, but stepping up from the spot and regaining the lead. 2-1 in Wellington.
Another call, another time for the Mariners to respond. It's off the back of this finish from Mandrake James. Rami Nazarene had the ball. There's got to be some argument to remove it from his hands after converting here at the Capitol recently from 12 yards out. And Mandrake James, comprehensive in that argument.
Piper tries to play it through. Ifanya Eze. They're on the edge for Sheridan now, crossing in Sheridan. Eze was there, so too Piper. Wellington for 3. Carlo Armiento. Wellington Phoenix go bang bang, and it's 3-1 in the capital.
Well, they were devastated after 50 minutes last week. Fast forward 7 days and they're devastating. Thought they were going into the break. A goal up, clean sheet intact. Came out of the sheds 1-1 in the blink of an eye. Now 3-1 up. Corbin Piper toils down the right. It falls to Armiento down the left. You will not find a more assured left foot in the A-League than that in the possession of the Wellington Phoenix, number 11. And it was all too easy for him then. The Mariners surprised, Armiento assured.
Piper the cutback, Armiento the finish for his 3rd goal of the season. 7 minutes of chaos last week against Newcastle, but it's the Phoenix here against Central Coast who have caught fire. Now there's a bit more spring in the step. Ifanya Eze chasing everything. Nagasawa and Wellington calling for everything. Mariners will come away. But the Phoenix crowd, the fever, they have something to cheer about now. Still a long way to go. They've fashioned a handy lead. And more importantly, Jacob Spoonley, something that they haven't had in the last few weeks, just that energy, that belief that perhaps they could push on with this.
Well, they might have drawn inspiration from the ALW side. So far, the Capital has seen 11 goals this weekend. And the A-League men's side now producing for this loyal, this faithful fan base.
Kennedy down the edge. He's looking for some time on the ball. Does well to get it back to Kennedy. He and Moragas playing a lovely 1-2. Oh, tap, trying to play it across. Piper was there. Big contact coming into Corbin. Piper.
Well, that's a tasty one. An average of 6 to 8 eggs per day consumed by Corbin Piper. All of that landing on the left foot of James Donaghy.
That's your regime, isn't it? 6 to 8 in the morning? Or is it 10? I think that might be Paul Eiffel, actually. As the Mariners, what can they respond with? What will their answer be? And pressing the back, Paul will have to play this one back to Redmayne. In the 18-yard, he sends it high, floating ball. Sabatnur is there for Central Coast. Amiento almost got on top of it. And now it is for James. He's slipping on the surface. Mandrake James, no whistle yet. And eventually one comes. He's tangling with Storm Roux.
Always an honest battler, Storm Roux. And here's the goal. Corbin Piper on a tee for Amiento. And then off the back of the 7 yesterday. After every goal the men's side have scored today is we want 7. Merry. Merry, I think the fans are, Jeff.
Nami Najareen, great on the ball, dribbling his way downfield. And in the end, it's not going to touch from Will Kennedy. So Wellington, the throw on this near side. That's Sheridan. The chant is back in the Cape Town. The Phoenix fans believe. Ufaineze believes. Cut back for Piper. And just cleared away in the end. Pizio down as far as Mandrake James for Wellington. Alan McCarron and Hughes, another to return this week from that hamstring injury. We'll take a look shortly at that live ladder to see where things stand with the goal difference. Oh, big contact coming in. Sheridan goes down in a heap.
Oh, not again. Kennedy grabbing the knee. We've already seen the turf. It's a wonderful track here at Sky Stadium. Unfortunately, the turf might be that good that the players just getting their studs stuck in the ground. We've already seen Josh Oloemi go down. Amiento suggestion of an issue as well. And there's the live ladder.
Wellington would take their place just behind MacArthur. Yeah, it was well watered before the game, as you would expect. Sky Stadium, the turf, always in pristine condition. It's just been one of those games. And a set piece here for Central Coast. Christian Theoharis with the corner.
Again, look at the numbers, look at the congestion around young Eamon McCarron being targeted here by Warren Moon and his Mariners.
And it comes. Yeah, too much curl on it from Theoharis. It's the second time this year they've had a 2-goal lead. Looks like some substitutions here too, Jacob.
It looks like Edmondson is coming on, as is Diesel Harrington. Kennedy off. Really hope it's not because of that time he spent on the ground, holding his knee right before he went off. And Christian Theoharis as well, making way. Suspect this might mean a change in formation from the Mariners. They've got 3 centre-backs on, and Diesel Harrington at the centre of a back three, it seems.
Chasing forward Edmondson. McCarron tidies up for Wellington. Now looking to get something going inside the attacking third here. Sabat Nyor trying to get on the outside of his man. Does a pretty good job too. Back inside and cleared away by the Phoenix. And Nathan Paul coming in there. And the referee's whistle goes. It's been a physical game. A lot of players off the park, of course. Josh Aloiemi. I hope that is not too serious. A busy stretch of games coming up for Wellington across the Tasman. As they have Melbourne victory next up on the 29th. And just that one at home against Adelaide in round 12. Have to go to Brisbane, Sydney, and over to Newcastle as well. A busy stretch in the new year. Nagasawa plays it through. There it is, Rami Najarine. Keeps it alive, Najarine. Tried to find Ifeanyi Eze and Pizio. And the Mariners clear away. Mandrake James there too. So too Edmondson, who challenges for the ball. Down goes James.
Ryan Edmondson bundling into the back of Mandrake James. Those next 5 games, tough for the Wellington Phoenix to navigate. Playing away in the hot Hunter. Brisbane's not exactly temperate this time of year. And then Amy Park, a venue that they've struggled at over the last 5 or 6 years.
And Mercury pushing 40 putts of Australia this past week. Tough conditions, beautiful afternoon for football here though in Wellington. Bit of cloud cover today. And it's the Phoenix who have shone brightly in this second half. One apiece at the break. Hazel Harrington, the 21-year-old and 24, the young up-and-coming defensive talent for Central Coast. Donachie just forced at the moment. Such has been the intent of Wellington to get on the ball and close down the pass of Central Coast. And they come away again. Beautiful work, Matt Sheridan. He goes down. Play on is the call. They've got the advantage. Rami Najarine gets them on the front foot outside of the 18-yard area. Najarine, Sheridan looking to cross this one in, and Piper climbs. Just got away on him, but Wellington looking to set themselves again. Miguel De Pizio getting around his man once more. Here though for Hughes. Does well, Isaac Hughes, to turn and stay on the ball as well. It just goes past. Rami Najarine, he'd done so much good work.
I was tantalising just out of the reach of the stretching Corbin Piper. Najarine's put a really complete performance in this afternoon. Got through his work, been combative when he's needed to, and then showed his quality in moments like this. Released Sheridan, and Corbin Piper not far away from getting on the end of that.
Sorry, Ifeanyi last week back post from that position. Wellington's lone goal, 3 today. Oh, Ifeanyi tangled up by Paul.
Well, that's a fantastic stat. 406 days since Wellington last won a game by more than a goal. And that was against the Mariners, Jeff.
There you go. It's a long time between drinks for Wellington and that stat, but still plenty of time to play for Central Coast and their fans. And know they possess the ability, the players, They've been right in the fight the last few weeks against some of the best teams in the A-League. Those teams have made the trip across. To see them 1-1 at half-time. And Draker James, Carlo Armiento to stretch it to 3-1 for Wellington. Alex Rufer tidy as always. The Phoenix captain. Here comes Redmayne. They saw Ifanyezo, the yellow fever, bearing down on the Mariners goalkeeper.
Andrew Redmayne, a busy man in the second half. Unfortunately, most of it's been picking the ball out the back of the net. Still a lot to like about this Mariners side. DiPizio in the middle of the park has looked lively. Sabatnior still willing up front.
Back it comes Storm. Roy having to pedal back for Central Coast. Piper comes across to cover Donachie. Back for the captain, Brad Tapp. Long ball down this near side for Moragas. Tries to curl it in. And down in a heap goes Ryan Edmondson.
Well, Mandraker James got caught out initially. Not quite sure where Edmondson was. And in fact, the flag goes up there. You can see the assistant referee in the background. But it's a lovely ball in from Moragas, and then James, smart defending, just leans in on the number 9 to ensure that clean contact isn't made.
What a return for Mandraker James.
There's a sense of responsibility, particularly individual responsibility, about the Wellington Phoenix this afternoon. Players have stepped up, they've wanted to take control. James, the highlight of that with the cool finish from 12 yards out.
Sheridan, they're going to cross one in again. Sheridan out comes Redmayne. Cool as you like from the veteran. Some real challenges coming in here. Alex Rufer comes in. No whistle, but he's down the Phoenix captain. Flying in to the contest.
Looks like two former players coming to blows. Lucas Moragas spent a season in Wellington on loan. As Andrew Redmayne looked to release the left back. Alex Rufer, a full-blooded challenge. Back on his feet, so is Lucas Moragas. Both players battle-worn now.
Testing out the shin pads. Alex Rufer. Little pat on the head. Moragas. Well, Paul Eiffel, you talked about this pre-game. Players stepping up, big players, seasoned players, the veterans stepping up for Wellington. We're seeing that today.
Yeah, look, certainly I think Alex Rufer's been leading from the front as he usually does, you know, full-blooded challenge there, but I think a lot of the things that go unseen are the communication. He's driven this from that midfield position, making sure everything in front of him is what he wants to see, and I expect that to go till the end of the game. Look, the Phoenix can see this game out. I think they'd like to get, Chiefy would like them to get a 4th, but I think they can manage it now and make sure it's a nice win just before the Christmas period.
It's there for Rami Najarain. Controlling it well, 2 players on him. Here comes Nagasawa playing it across to that left. James just controlling things in centre field. Kazuki Nagasawa, a little bit of space on the ball here. Niento plays back. Just in control in Wellington's game at the moment with the 2-goal buffer. James does well to beat his man, and Sabatnior sending it through for Piper, just a touch heavy. Corbin, Piper and tangling. Well, the Super Rugby season's just around the corner. Perhaps an audition for the Hurricanes with James Donaghy there.
I think these two players are the only ones that bear enough strength to hold each other up.
And it comes, Rami Najareen was hunting that. Sheridan just has a stab. Matt Sheridan, why not, he says.
Now, Piper and Donaghy coming together, probably exemplamatic of how this game's been played. Honest work from both sides. Willingness to get around the field, perhaps at times lacking a bit of quality. But I'm sure expecting more in the last 20 minutes. Neither will go away. Mariners really need to get a goal in the next 10 minutes or so to give themselves a chance to walk away from Sky Stadium with something.
Sheridan calling for the ball. Possession, though, for Central Coast. Lucas Moragas. Apizio now back for the captain. Tap. He just taps it over to Donaghy. There's still plenty of time they can score here. The Mariners pressure Wellington for the equaliser, trying to play the through ball. And back there is Hughes for Wellington. He's had some tidy touches in his return from injury. And just that yellow fever in full voice, something we haven't heard much of in the last month or so in Wellington. Again, Ifanieze hunting, sticks out a left boot, just frustrating the backfield here of Central Coast. They just haven't had that fluidity with the ball up through midfield as much as they would have liked, as much as they've enjoyed against some top quality teams in the last few weeks. Sheridan hunting on Moragas again. Nagasawa now under pressure on this near side. Sabit Nyor, lone goal scorer for Central Coast just before the half-time whistle. Donaghy plays it through, and he only finds Kazuki Nagasawa. Just plays it off of Storm Rue, but Central Coast with the throw.
Nagasawa's been part of an impressive quartet of supporting characters that are playing off Alex Rufer. Paul Eiffel Wright to identify the captain has been instrumental.
And it comes Donaghy. Oh, just a touch heavy back. Ibanese's there. Now they'll look to catch them on the break. Nagasawa is swamped on that far side. Mariners come away. DiPizio. He's got Rufer on him. Miguel DiPizio for Moragas. Lucas Moragas. And they'll come away through Nagasawa. Wellington a fairly tame end to that build-up for Coast. And the crowd here in Wellington letting them know about it too, Jacob.
Well, 70 minutes into this one, and plenty for the Yellow Fever to be happy about. Just coming back to that point, Nagasawa, part of a quartet, along with Najareen, Hughes and Kelly Hield. The highlights will be grabbed by the likes of James and Namiento, but the fingerprints of those four all over an elevated performance here for Italiano's men.
A great assist in the lead up to Piper's goal. And it's been into everything. So a man, Wellington today, and remembering they lost their starting goalkeeper fairly early on in this match, Josh Oluwaemi. They didn't panic. They came back Central Coast through Nyor to square things up and one apiece. And Amon McCarran, the 18-year-old out of the Phoenix reserves, thrust into the action on A-League debut. And still plenty of time in this match. Down goes Nagasawa. Referee's whistle doesn't go as Ifanieze runs it forward for Wellington. He goes down in the 18-yard area.
It's been given a corner. James Donaghy doesn't like it. But Eze, with only a marginal advantage, really. There was one player up against 6 defenders for the Mariners. The challenge initially from Nagasawa, and then Eze picks up the scraps and toils away down the left. And Finn Roa-Conchi about to join proceedings. And it's
Fanya Eze, yeah. Fanya Eze, so Chiefy making the substitution momentarily. Finn Roa-Conchi waiting to come on. Off he goes and on he comes. So the day is done for Fanya Eze. The corner for Wellington. Nagasawa sends in. Hughes is there. And tries to play it toward that near post. Redmayne, though, tidies up. So the big substitution up front for Wellington. Still plenty of time remaining.
We'll have to go down sideline to Paul Eiffel to see if he's got an understanding about that change.
No understanding at all. No, look, I think,
we love the honesty.
No, look, I've got an idea. I certainly think that they're looking to just keep hold of this 3-1. I think they can see the game out from here. Somebody like Conchi, which is doing exactly now, dropping in, get on the ball. He's a little bit of a dog in there as well when they haven't got the ball, so he can help out with that, with those defenders. So I think they're trying to see the game out, in my opinion.
Already lost their goalkeeper. Josh Oluemi, perhaps also a thought too for Giancarlo Italiano. A tough stretch of games coming up, not to lose their star striker. Ball into the area, Edmondson. Just can't get enough on it, cleared away for Wellington. And coming forward is Piper, throwing himself at everything. Up close and personal with Diesel Harrington. For Harrington, Steele plays it down the right. Donaghy again. Tap. Trying to shut it down on that far side of the field. Wellington, a little bit of space here to set up perhaps a ball into the area. Here it comes for Central Coast. Edmondson, but McCarron, the young man, he'll be feeling a lot more confident, Jacob, as a man who's been in that position minute by minute in this game on his A-League debut, particularly now with the lead. Down the other end, Piper's there for Wellington, as Harrington will come away.
McCarron certainly has kept the game simple. I feel like there's a couple of times when he could have commanded the 18-yard box more, but an early call to his defenders allowed them to deal with the situation. Hasn't sought the game out, has waited for it to come to him, as we just saw there, collected the ball, decisive action. And the other thing is, Jeff, the response after making a mistake, which allowed the Mariners back into the game. Coming on for Josh Oluemi. Competent performance so far on debut for McCarron.
Rowe looking for the long throw for Central Coast. Nagasawa clears away with the head. Moragas tries to play it in, and once more Hughes is there, just cops one as well defensively in the 18-yard area. Played across again. This time James does well to clear. Nagasawa calls for contact on the arm. Wellington will come away, and chasing forward here, an opportunity for Wellington and Roa-Conchi. The Mariners come away, but almost caught them on the break downtown, did the Phoenix. There's still some calls for a touchback there in the box, Jacob Spoonley.
Well, seemed innocuous, and there hasn't been much in the way of a reaction from the Mariners, but from my perspective, that went very close to hitting the arm of Nagasawa as the Phoenix cleared the ball.
Rami Najarine, yes, James Donachie breathing down his neck. You're on James Hughes. Plenty of space to run down this right side. Isaac Hughes now puts a long ball through for Piper. Hazel Harrington v Piper. And it's the young Mariner who wins that battle. Well, you can hear the applause around Sky Stadium here in Wellington. That is for Bruce Passmore, a long-time fan of the Phoenix since the club's inception. Sadly, Bruce passed away on Friday at the age of 79. The Sky whānau know his wife Maureen very well indeed. Our condolences, our thoughts, our prayers to Maureen and the whānau and all of those who knew Bruce Passmore, a staunch Phoenix supporter. Moi mai rā, Bruce. And appropriately as well, the lead, 80 minutes, and off they come.
That one's for Bruce, you get the feeling. It would have been all about the celebrations at the 80-minute mark. Yellow fever. The opportunity's been scarce, but they're going to enjoy this one.
There's a bit of cloud cover today, but you just hope there's some SPF 50 floating around. Certainly don't want to go into the summer break with a bit of redness. The early tan, perhaps, as the Mariners, with time to find this second and make things really interesting. Storm Roux. Donahue just calling the play. Now tap back for the man with the armband. Ball into the area. Sabat Newell's there. And once more, Whenua Conchi plays it away for Wellington. Ball again. Central Coast. There's been a collision of bodies over by the back post. Storm Roux. Frustration on the face.
Dejection creeping in there. Storm Roux felt like he'd got that header into the back of Armiento, forcing the corner. It's Paul with a good delivery. You can see the runners centrally, but Storm Roux had been picked out. And the bang-bang goes from Armiento to Roux. Unfortunately for the long-time Mariner.
Well, the old saying, no matter which sport you play, what a difference a week can make. And everything that has been swirling around this club the past fortnight, the past 3 weeks, the expectation at the start of the season, just 8+ minutes away now from that. 7th place, Wellington on the A-League table, and that'll feel a lot better, Jacob Spoonley, heading into the new year.
Well, it's a performance that is thrown back to performances of old here at Sky Stadium. Wellington often so hard to beat when teams travelled across the Tasman. That brand, that light had waned recently.
And McCarron has to get back, yeah.
Sorry, Jacob, just put a flutter in the voice there, young Eamon McCarron, but a lot more for Italiano to like this week. The performance has had a sense of control about it, and that hasn't been there. That's been absent recently.
Tried to play it through. Najarine goes down. Piper was screaming through. Wanted the ball back. There's not much Najarine could do about it. He was down in a heap, still down on the Sky Stadium pitch. And now perhaps Corbin Piper can see why he did not get the ball. I think we might have a yellow card too. Harrington, I think, is the man who's been booked here.
And here's the contact. Harrington, just scrapes that one down the shin of Nazarene. Painful on the lower leg of the number 20. And Harrison Steele makes his way to the sideline. We got to tell you, let's come on as soon as we get the number.
So confirmation it was Diesel Harrington who picked up the card, and a change as well.
Bradman makes his way onto the field. Quietly impressive, Rami Nazarene. Italiano's teams always work well when the midfield is oiled. Slick passing from back to front. And today, Nagasawa and Nazarene have delivered for Chiefy.
Well, there'll be plenty of stoppage at the end of regular time here. Wellington in the right part of the field. Rami Nazarene back on his feet, moving as he has all game. So dangerous on the ball. So Wellington away in Melbourne next Monday, Central Coast. We'll be back at Gosford for Brisbane Roar. Sheridan, Conchi, Rami Nazarene inside the area. Piper on the ball. Back for Sheridan, playing it here beautifully. Wellington, Rufer plays back for Hughes. Lovely triangle back for the captain. Now looking to play it a little bit more centrally. Nagasawa, some space, some time to float the ball over to a man familiar on that side, Carlo Armiento, a goal scorer today. To go with Piper and James. Sabat Noor for Central Coast. I just get the feeling we aren't done yet.
Associated question is, are we going to see a Paolo Retre sighting this afternoon? Injured in pre-season, haven't seen him for the first 8 rounds. On the bench today. I want to give someone some minutes in the legs just to get into the rhythm. What an opportunity for Chiefy.
Disguise this one. Andrew Redmayne. Kelly Hill. As Hughes will play it forward off of the head. Conchi. I think it comes now as an opportunity here. Edmondson will try and come through on it. Hughes with him. There's some good work by the man in the 9 shirt, Ryan Edmondson, for Central Coast. And it comes, and out comes Eamon McCarron. Down he goes.
I think this might be a case of being winded. I hope it's not a head knock. McCarron, again, early call, made it his own. Big mitts on the ball. It's just a contact. I think it's from, might be Lucas Moragas at the back stick. You can see there just a hit into the unprotected ribs of McCarron.
Well, the Phoenix staff in the room next to the combox were starting to take a close look at Jacob Spoonley, and we were just seeing whether or not there were some spare gloves floating around. You weren't far away, Jacob.
I'll tell you what, I won't fit that kit at the moment, that's for sure.
So a couple of minutes remaining, regular time. Rami Nazarene is just absolutely hammered. He's not happy too. And he lets Duarte know all about it. Nico Duarte and Rami Nazarene exchanging pleasantries.
And a fair amount of chat. Nazarene on the receiving end from Duarte. a full body challenge, contact up and down the number 20. Passion aplenty, even though we're into the 88th minute.
Well, that fire that has become synonymous with the Phoenix over so many seasons here in Wellington. Just get the sense that that may have returned too.
Well, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago rather, we were here in the capital and the Phoenix put together a complete performance against Adelaide. Performances subsequent dipped. I think the important thing here is that the response has been there for the Phoenix, but this cannot be a 90 minutes in isolation. The needle needs to continue pointing up.
Sheridan keeps it in. Capizio v Sheridan. There for Nagasawa. Now Rami Najarine has it on the left foot. Finroa Kochi tries to get inside and on the ball, but well defended. Lucas Moragas is back for Central Coast.
A smile on the face of Amiento. Added to his goal tally today. Enjoyed booting that one out.
5 minutes of added time. 5 minutes for the yellow fever for Phoenix fans to perhaps just get that early Christmas present they've been asking for. And it comes, headed away, James. And Hughes too. Nathan Paul forward for Harrington again. Swung in, Paul on the edge. Beautifully defended again.
Well, the intention was there from Storm Root. Got his head up and saw the back three for the Phoenix set. Instead looked for Duarte, who had just dropped off the line.
Corner for Central Coast. Swung in and well taken. Safely done, Eamon McCarron.
Confident from the young man.
And just on this near side, the man warming up in the number 8 shirt, Paulo Retre. Looking for his first appearance of the season. Sheridan's done well a few times today to keep the ball in. Excellent work on that occasion too. And possession Wellington. Well, what a man to bring in. Paulo Retre, 32 years of age, made 181 appearances for Sydney FC, Melbourne City. A couple of championships, 2 premierships with Sydney over 6 years. And the man that Wellington signed on a 2-year deal from India, about to be injected for Rami Najarine.
Good scenes for Italiano, good signs. Paulo Retre, an important part of Italiano's midfield machine. Had to wait for him this season. He's been given the opportunity to work his way back into football.
Corbin Piper has been full value, hasn't he, again this afternoon. Sheridan. Couple of minutes remaining. Piper again swamped. Duarte and Moragas. Harrington will look to try and play this as quickly as he can, running off plenty of yards downfield. Phoenix throw players back. Diesel Harrington to the corner of the area. Back it comes. There's Brantman's there, trying to get onto the ball.
Very much a controlled performance, assured from the Phoenix. Only for a moment did they look like the game was potentially slipping from them.
Our first game in the A-League for the Wellington Phoenix reserves keeper, McCarron, is about to end in a victory, and a much-needed one for Wellington, their fans, their coach, Giancarlo Italiano. And Country trying to get on the ball. Nagasawa is there. Rufa trying to clean up. I'll play it quickly. Mariners, excellent defence again. Sheridan running forward, looking for the ball. He's got it. And just a little bit too much on it for Matt Sheridan. Sheridan, ball in to no one as Moragas goes back for Central Coast. Just seconds away now for Wellington. The Phoenix rise off the bottom of the A-League table. Their third win of the season. One that the Yellow Fever have enjoyed. 3 points, 3 vital points in the context of their season. It was one apiece at half-time, but in the end, it finishes 3-1, and it's party time in the capital.
Piper James, Armiento, all with the headlines, but as we noted throughout the course of the 90, Hughes, Kelly, Hield, Nagasawa and Nazarene built this performance today. The points are important, yes, Jeff, but the nature of the performance, the promise that was demonstrated here by the Wellington Phoenix, that'll give heart. And importantly, it's payoff for the loyal fans that have stuck with them throughout this period, had to work their way through.
What a moment for this young man, 18 years of age. Eamon McCarron wasn't expecting to keep this afternoon, but the injury to Josh Oluwayemi in the first half, he was thrust in, couldn't keep the lone goal to Central Coast out, but then after that he watched a couple of excellent goals for Wellington. And let's head to Ash pitchside with the Mariners captain.
Brad, not the result you wanted today. Summarise that performance.
Yeah, look, I think first half, you know, we took it to them, we played well, our own worst enemy at times, but yeah, came out second half slow and we got punished for that, so credit to Wellington. Yeah, well done to them.
Heading into Christmas, sitting down the bottom part of the ladder, how do you sort of pick yourselves up heading into 2026?
Yeah, we've had a tough run, bad results, but